All right, so are you ready to dive into one of football's biggest debates?
You know, the Messi versus Ronaldo debate.
Exactly. In this deep dive, we're going to unpack a podcast discussion between Adam, a Messi fan, and Omar on Team Ronaldo.
And they don't hold back.
Oh, absolutely. But we're not just going to rehash their arguments. We're going to go deeper, exploring the tactics and the stats that make this rivalry legendary.
I think what makes this source so fascinating is that it's not just about lifting achievement. It's about like why these players resonate so much with people.
Yeah, it gets really philosophical. They
Right.
start off talking about this nature versus nurture thing, like, is greatness something you're born with?
Right.
Adam talks about Messi like he was destined to be great. He says his dribbling is almost supernatural, like he's bending the laws of physics.
Well, and he's not exaggerating. Like when you look at the stats,
Mm.
Messi averages over 6 successful dribbles per game, more than anyone in Europe's top leagues.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like he's not even human.
And it ties into that whole idea of the football artist, you know?
Right, the player who operates on a different level.
Exactly. But then Omar comes in with a totally different perspective.
Okay.
He's all about Ronaldo as like the embodiment of hard work. He talks about Ronaldo's insane training regimen, how he transformed himself.
From like that skinny winger
And
to...
yeah, to this powerhouse scoring machine.
And it's true, you can see the results. He scored over 800 career goals. Like, that's insane.
It really shows you what dedication can do.
So it's like these two paths to success, the effortless genius versus the tireless worker.
Right, and it makes you think, like, what path speaks to you more personally?
Totally. Okay, but then things get really heated when they start talking about pressure,
Yeah.
performing when it really matters.
Oh, yeah. Omar immediately goes to Ronaldo's clutch factor,
Hmm.
talking about those Champions League moments.
It's that insane header against Juventus.
Exactly, he's saying Ronaldo just knows how to score when the stakes are the highest.
And his record speaks for itself, over 140 Champions League goals. That's the most ever.
Yeah, that's a tough one to beat. But Adam doesn't back down.
Right.
He brings up Messi's ability to not just shine in big games, but to carry his team.
Over entire seasons?
Exactly. He's like, look at the Ballon d'Or awards.
Yeah.
Messi has 7.
Yeah, that's more than anyone else.
It shows you his consistency.
Adam even argues that Messi faced more pressure constantly being compared to Maradona.
And carrying Argentina on his shoulders.
It's a good point. They're both defining pressure differently.
Right. For Omar, it's about those defining moments.
Yeah.
The ones that make history.
And for Adam, it's about the constant expectation, the mental toughness.
Makes you wonder what's more impressive.
Yeah.
Consistent dominance or those big game heroics.
Well, and that brings us to like the core of their debate, their playing styles.
Oh, yeah.
Adam describes Messi as a magician.
A magician with the ball at his feet.
Right, weaving through defenders, creating chances out of nothing, and his passing, it's like he can see the entire field.
Messi holds the record for most assists in La Liga history.
So he's not just about scoring goals, he's making everyone around him better.
Exactly. But Omar's focus is totally different. He's all about Ronaldo's versatility, how he can score with both feet.
His headers are ridiculous too.
And he's adapted his game over time.
From that tricky winger at Manchester United
To a complete forward at Real Madrid and Juventus.
Omar says Ronaldo can thrive in any system.
That's true. He's found success everywhere he's gone.
It's almost like comparing two artists with different styles.
Now let's
Messi's the master of finesse.
And Ronaldo's the powerful sculptor.
It makes you think which approach is ultimately more effective.
Well, that's what Sarah asks them next.
Okay.
Would you rather have an unstoppable dribbler or a relentless goal machine on your team?
It's like she's trying to get them to think strategically.
To go beyond like these abstract ideas of greatness.
Right, to consider what actually builds a winning team.
And that's where we'll leave it for now.
But we're just getting started.
Right. We've explored the foundation of this debate.
The philosophy behind what makes Messi and Ronaldo so captivating.
Next, we're going to break down their arguments even further.
Analyze their evidence.
And hopefully help you figure out your own answer to this question.
The eternal question of Messi versus Ronaldo.
It's a tough one.
Okay, so Adam's really leaning into the tactical advantages of having Messi. He's saying Messi's not just about dribbling. He's one of the most prolific goal scorers of all time.
Right.
He even brought up that Messi has a higher goals per game ratio in La Liga than Ronaldo.
Oh, wow. So he's saying Messi's impact is way bigger than just setting up his teammates.
Exactly. But then Omar counters with this idea of adaptability.
Oh, interesting.
He says Ronaldo's proven himself in multiple leagues, the Premier League, Serie A,
And Messi's mostly played in La Liga.
which is more possession-based.
Right. So Omar's saying is a player who can excel in any system, ultimately more valuable.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's like he's arguing Ronaldo's success is more self-made.
Less reliant on a specific style of play.
Right. And then just when you think they've covered everything, Sarah throws them a curveball. She asks them point blank, if you had to pick one player to save football, who would it be?
Whoa.
Like a thought experiment, you know?
Right.
What do you really believe about the sport?
So what do they say?
Well, Adam gets almost poetic.
Oh, I bet.
He chooses Messi. Okay, as
Absolutely.
Messi represents the beautiful game, you know,
In its purest form.
the joy,
Mm-hmm.
the elegance, the audacity of his skill.
Like Messi's the soul of football.
Exactly the reason we love it.
I see where he's coming from.
Right, but Omar goes for the pragmatic approach.
Meaning?
He says, in a must-win situation, you pick the proven winner, the player who thrives under pressure.
So he picks Ronaldo.
Of course, the guy's all about winning.
Makes sense.
It's so interesting how their answers reflect their values.
Right. Adam's drawn to the beauty of Messi's game.
And Omar's all about the results.
Two different definitions of what it means to be a legend.
Yeah, and neither of them backs down.
So who wins the debate?
Well, podcast ends without a clear winner. They basically say the Messi versus Ronaldo debate is a matter of personal preference.
So it's about what we as fans value most.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And that's what makes it so fascinating.
It's not just about stats, it's about style substance.
The very nature of greatness.
It makes you think about your own biases.
What we find compelling in a player and in the game itself.
So what about you? Have you picked a side yet?
This deep dive has given you the tools to understand the nuances of this debate.
To appreciate both players.
But this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore.
Like what?
Their journeys, their impact on the sport.
And their legacy.
Exactly. What will we be saying about them in 10, 20, even 50 years?
Will we still be arguing about this?
That's a good question. It's fascinating to think about.
You know, even though they didn't pick a winner, they did something even more important.
What's that?
They showed us that what defines a legend goes beyond the goals and the trophies.
It's in the eye of the beholder.
Okay, so here's something for you to think about.
Okay, I'm listening.
What qualities truly define a football legend for you?
That's a good one.
Think about everything we've talked about. The talent, the pressure, the playing styles.
The whole philosophy of it all.
Is it about artistry and creativity, like Adam says?
That ability to bend the game to your will.
Or is it about the relentless drive, the will to win, like Omar sees in Ronaldo?
That never give up attitude.
Or maybe it's something else. Maybe it's about leadership.
Inspiring your teammates.
Leaving a lasting impact on the sport.
Changing the way the game is played.
Inspiring future generations.
It's really up to you to decide.
This deep dive has given you a deeper appreciation for this debate.
And for the incredible legacies of Messi and Ronaldo.
Keep exploring, keep arguing, and most importantly, keep enjoying the game.
Yeah, it really makes you think, what will people say about them? You know, like when it's all over.
Right, like what will the narrative be?
Will it be about those individual moments of brilliance?
Those goals that made us jump out of our seats?
Exactly. Or will it be about, you know, trophies?
Team success. What's interesting is that this debate always goes beyond the stats.
Right. It's almost like a reflection of ourselves.
You know what I mean?
Like, do we admire the natural genius?
Or the hard worker?
The one who never gives up?
It's like we see ourselves in these players.
And maybe that's what makes it so hard to choose.
I'm also wondering, does the lack of a definitive answer actually make this rivalry even bigger?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because it never really ends.
Right. It's not about crowning one player as the Jouet.
It's about appreciating two incredible careers.
Two different paths to greatness.
Exactly. And by not having a clear winner, it keeps the conversation going. We keep reevaluating our perspectives.
As these guys keep playing and evolving.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a challenge.
Okay. I'm game.
Don't try to settle the debate.
Okay.
Think about what defines a legend for you.
Hmm.
Is it just the stats?
The trophies.
Or is it something more
Yeah.
like their impact on the sport?
How they inspire future generations.
Or maybe it's about transcending the game itself.
Becoming icons.
Representing something bigger than football.
I like that.
So whatever your answer is,
Yeah.
I think we can agree that Messi and Ronaldo have changed the game.
They really have.
They've pushed the boundaries of what's possible.
And they've given us fans so much to argue about.
Exactly. And maybe that's their true legacy. Not just as individual players,
Okay.
but as catalysts for a conversation that'll probably never end.
The debate goes on.
So keep exploring, keep debating, and keep enjoying the magic of football.